We started out in the 30s, built by the miners, contributions from their wages, and it was really an educational and recreational building. So you had a big library out the back there. You had what they called the reading room, where all the newspapers of the day was there. The lodge committee from the pit, they used the meeting rooms upstairs. The snooker hall moved out here, and it was across the way where the Doctors is now, and then it became a club in the 60s onwards. Well, after the rugby club folded, there was some boxing in here, but that finished as well. So the building was shut for 4 years, and it was deteriorating.
And I wonder what's the point of this life. Sometimes I'll pray, but I will never close my eyes. I want to be happy. Find a man with an old name.
And the feeling of the committee really is, if it was left any much longer, it would have deteriorated further to the point of being unable to be repaired and renovated. At which point then possibly the council, who owned the land that the building is sat on, would have taken it back, and they may have chosen to knock it down and redevelop the area with housing. That's a possibility, we don't know, but certainly it would have probably ended up being demolished. So the original impetus, I guess the idea was a lady called Claire Potter, Father Di Potter from the village. Claire's in the media, she's a poet. She met my father, Nat Thomas, from the village at a function in Blackwood Miners Institute, and they got talking about the stilt here, and Claire said to Dad, we really ought to set something up to save the stilt. And they called a meeting. The first one was in the Moose Hall. Tommy Williams, the councillor, and a few other people attended, and it's gone from there. Okay, this was the original reading room where the miners used to come in after shift. In the 30s and 40s, there was long trestles here with the newspapers of the day, and they stood at the trestles reading the newspapers, and the older people in the village that remember it from when they were children, they said you had to be quiet or you'd be thrown out. So this was the reading room. We actually found the original architect plans from 1927 upstairs behind breeze blocks in a cupboard. Oops. I don't know where these are from. Which ones are these? 1969 changes they made to the building. Oh, there's another one here. So we've found some really interesting stuff. We're still going through some paperwork, so we don't throw anything of a historical value out. So we've had some good finds which we hope to put on display when this room is done. That was plans that never came to fruition. So our hope for the stilt as a whole is that it'll become a hub for the community again, and we hope that we will be able to have 3 offices upstairs which we could rent out as offices or studios to local businesses at very competitive rates to help the community. I guess I'd like to thank people all around the village and the world actually for taking an interest in it, following what we try to do on Facebook, all the moral support, and we've had some good support from people coming up from elsewhere, from outside the village, helping us with manual tasks. So I would like to thank everybody for their ongoing support, what we're trying to do.
Every Tuesday, I'll be in the driveway, talking to a stranger for some help. Yes, you guessed it, flowers made of plastic, 'cause I